It is April 8th. It is day 78, and I am so grateful. Someone pointed out that I forgot. When I took days off, I forgot to add the days back on because I was just going by the notebook. Totally makes sense that I would make that mistake because I am out of it. I'm tired. But it is day 78, so we just gained a couple days overnight. Not really, I just corrected my mistake. And thank you. I can't remember who left that comment, but I appreciate you. So let's get right into it. The stock market today was a little bit wild. Started off with a pretty big dip. And then someone on X posted erroneously. We don't know if it was on purpose, although some people are claiming it may have been market manipulation. They posted and said that Trump was planning on a 90-day pause on the tariffs, and the White House confirmed that was not true. During the 25 or 30 minutes where that rumor was going viral and circulating, the markets shot back up. And then when the White House confirmed it was a rumor, the stock market tanked again. However, it ended sort of like in mixed territory with, I think, the S&P and I don't know, a couple of the indicators are down and one is up by like 0.3 or something. People are saying that the bigger dip is going to be after this Wednesday if the Senate does not pass a bill that would require Congress to approve future tariffs. Or maybe even these tariffs. I'm not 100% sure. But essentially, long story short, if nothing is done to rein Trump in, then they're expecting a deeper dive. And it's interesting because I am hearing that a lot of people still think that this is a negotiating tactic and not something serious. And it's hard to say because Trump is holding the line publicly. I personally think he's dead ass serious. I don't think that I don't think the tariffs are going anywhere. I understand why people are saying that they think, like, you know, even him saying, like, oh, like, we're not, like, these tariffs are here to stay for however many years. I think that the people who think that that's a negotiating tactic, I think it's wishful thinking. I understand why they think that, because the sane person would never do this. But he's not a sane person. Sorry, babe. We'll see. You know, hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully this is a scare tactic to get countries to do what he wants. I don't know. Time will tell. Next. So Netanyahu met with Trump at the White House today. Some chaotic things were said during that meeting. However, the meeting itself, it sounds like Netanyahu, in the statement that I heard him make, because they actually had some clips of him talking on NPR, like, it sounds like he's kissing Trump's ass. And he basically said that Israel is planning to eliminate the trade deficit with the United States as well as trade barriers. That does not mean that Trump is going to eliminate the 17% tariff on Israel. And Trump came out and said it doesn't mean that in particular because of everything we've done for Israel. Please understand, a narcissist version of fair is you bending over backwards and them doing nothing. So I just don't, again, I think a lot of countries are trying this tactic of kissing his ass and hoping for the best, and I understand why they're doing that. It isn't going to last. Even if some of them get a reprieve, it can change at the drop of a hat. And I think, again, the world would be better off if people would literally go as quickly as possible, study malignant narcissism so that they would understand what they're actually dealing with. I don't know what a better tactic is against him other than, I mean, the thing that works the best with narcissists is gray rocking, which means you disappear so that they can't affect you at all. That's really hard to do with the world economy when the United States is a superpower, right? the rest of the world is in a really bad situation. But if they can create corners, pockets of the economy that have nothing to do with the United States, that's going to put them in the best situation. Because then he can't manipulate them financially. Okay, so during that same meeting with Netanyahu, reporters were in the White House trying to get comments from Trump about the stock market. He refused to comment about the stock market, but he did say, he basically threatened Iran again. He said, Iran, sorry, I always, whatever, I say it wrong, but I learned it's Iran. Okay, so he has threatened them again and said that that they are going to negotiate a new nuclear deal with the White House. It sounds like it's planned for Wednesday, that the negotiations are also planned for Wednesday. And if Iran does not take the deal, he said he's basically threatening them. He said it's going to be very dangerous for them, bad for them. So, yeah, that's not good. It's not good. I don't know where Iran stands on this. I mean, I know that they've made statements saying that he's bullying them. Yeah, that's true. And, you know, I don't know. I don't know if they're open to doing what he says. Again, other countries now actually, I don't know how smart it is to completely denuclearize and put yourself in a situation where you have nothing to defend yourself and nothing to negotiate with. It's kind of like what's happening with Gaza and Israel. It's like if Gaza gives back all of the hostages, then Israel is just going to continue to raise the soil and clear everyone out of their way. And you know what I mean by that. Because they don't care who dies in the process in the first place. And I think that Iran probably understands that they're in a similar situation where they certainly can't trust Trump. And the United States is a live wire, unpredictable. So putting yourself in a situation, again, where you have nothing to defend yourself, I'm just saying from their perspective, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. Trump is planning a massive military parade for his birthday that's going to cost millions of taxpayer dollars. Guess who else did that? Hitler. Yeah. I actually saw something today. This is unverified. I should end the show with this because it's a rumor. But I'm going to tell you before I forget that, is it Ivanka? Yeah. Ivanka is the wife, right? And Ivana is the daughter. Anyways, Trump's first wife, who has passed and is buried in his golf course. That whole thing is so sketchy. She fell down the stairs. Anyways, she claims that he slept with Mein Kampf next to his bed for years. So that's a good sign. Anyhow, Pam Bondi is going to roll back all of the Biden era common sense gun laws, of course, obviously. So no more background checks, something about converting a handgun into a something. I don't know. It's bad. It's all just really bad. You know, I think most of the progress we've made, whether it's socially or otherwise. Oh, no. Sorry, I'm trying to fix my cat's eyeball. She gets those like things in the corner of her eyes, but she really didn't want me to do it this time, so I'm gonna let her go. I'm gonna let her go and be dirty by herself. Anyways, yeah, you know, I've heard all kinds of plans that they have in regards to guns, and again, none of them are good. Well, it depends on who you ask, because there was also footage of Trump talking with someone about taking people's guns, but who knows? Who knows what will happen? Time will tell. I think everything is always on the table when it comes to this administration, and again, that's because like there is no moral backing to anything that they're doing. It's not based on a belief. It's based on whatever they need in order to forward their agenda at the time. Unfortunately, the Supreme Court, John Roberts, has paused the order to return the Maryland father who was mistakenly deported to El Salvador. They put a pause on it, and they need more time. The Supreme Court needs more time to look at the case before they decide whether or not they're going to bring him back. It's not a complete no, but he's literally sitting in a prison that he's not supposed to be sitting in. And his wife and child are here. Very sad. And I think that the rest of the world should take that as a warning. I've just seen videos of people, very understandably, really, really choked up about some of the things that are happening. And to me, when I watch that, when I see people like shaking and crying and stuff, I think they're surprised. I think that they thought that there were some guardrails, that there were some things that were too dark and low so that those things wouldn't happen. And I'm here to say, don't believe that. Like, they are going to do the worst things imaginable. And you can't, it's like, take the idea of fair or lawful or justice, just get them out of your head and try to move from a space of understanding that those things don't exist right now, meaning like fairness and laws and justice. And this administration is going to do whatever they want by any means necessary. Doesn't matter how many people die. Doesn't matter who they hurt. They don't care. And I think once you've accepted that on a deeper level, it just becomes easier when you see this kind of thing happen. It doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. It means you're not caught off guard. And for everyone who is here in any way illegally or even legally, it's not safe. Like, I think if people can leave right now, they should. Genuinely. If you are in any kind of like visibly recognizable protected class, well, no longer protected class, it's not safe. Again, like, anybody could be targeted right now. I mean, even people that are not visibly, recognizably part of a minority. Although I will say I heard them talking also on NPR today about how, where the fuck, god damn it, I can't remember the state it's in. Georgia? I don't know. There are police working with ICE somewhere. It's not national, I don't think. But that essentially anytime they apprehend anyone for a traffic ticket for any reason, they can lawfully hold that person. If they're on ICE's list, they can hold you for 48 hours until ICE comes to get you. Do you think that's going to increase profiling? Do you think that the cops are going to look through your window and see that you're Hispanic and pull you over? Because I do. So that's what I'm saying, is it's increasingly very dangerous, and it's just not safe. Whatever is going on here in this country, it's not worth losing your life over if you can possibly get out of here. Again, I understand that like a lot of people have no choice. They're stuck here, right? I'm stuck here. I get it. But for the people that do have a choice, or like students on student visas, I would get the hell out of here, honestly. I just would. Every day, the Trump administration is revoking more student visas, and they're also revoking refugee status, even people that had asylum status here. It's insane. Anyways, I really hope and pray that they allow him back to his family, but I will be surprised. So I'm happy about this headline, but I think it should also show people the insanity of this whole entire thing. So RFK has now come out and made a statement saying the only way to prevent more measles deaths is the MMR vaccine. Okay. I'm glad. Thank you for saying that out loud. Insane that it's a complete 180 from everything he said in the last few weeks. Insane. You know, I know that I think he went and met with the family of the child that just died. Maybe that like shook him up or something. I don't know him. I don't know. I think he's cuckoo. I don't know if he's a sociopath. I don't know him. It sounds like he's had some really sketchy, abusive relationships in the past. Again, I don't know enough about that man to know him, to say what his deal is. But I will say this. He is so unqualified for what he's doing. And this kind of like flip-flopping in all these different, like Doge and all these different government departments, it's so embarrassing for them. And it's so harmful to the United States. His supporters are furious at him for coming out and saying that. And again, I want them to understand, them being the supporters, like MAGA supporters, RFK supporters, if it's in their best interest, they're going to they're going to throw you under the bus. They don't give a shit. They don't actually give a shit about any of this stuff, honestly. Anyways, he also is planning to, or maybe he already did, defund diabetes research. They will not be expanding access to GLP-1s, like, the injection, what are they called? Ozempic. There's some other, like, generic versions. Honestly, those medications should be for diabetes, and I believe they should be for people that are in a danger zone with their weight. I don't think that housewives should be using GLP-1s to lose weight. They have some pretty fucked up side effects sometimes. Like things that you can't reverse too. I don't even know the half of it, but I've heard some like horror stories. So I do think that we should be careful. And that being said, if you have severe diabetes and like this is life-saving to you, I also don't want housewives. Sorry, that's the fucking dryer. That's the nuclear war siren dryer. Sorry. I also don't want housewives having access to a drug that we may have. It's probably going to be in short supply. I'm pretty sure it's manufactured in like Denmark or something. I don't even know if we can make it here. So anyway, good thing they're not planning to expand access to it because the other countries will probably tell us to get fucked anyways. He's also planning to stop recommending fluoride in drinking water. Anyways, he has a long list of shit he's going to be doing, and, you know, while I really appreciate him telling the truth about the MMR vaccine and saying, like, hey, this will save lives, I also just... the insanity, maybe that will be enough to show people, like, you can't just listen to these dudes, because if he really believed that your child was safer taking vitamin A, and then all those kids ended up hospitalized with vitamin A poisoning. Like, that is so unnecessary. I'm sorry. 3 times? Like, what? I have other things to do. I have a life. What if I think once is enough? Anyways, I hate RFK. He's an idiot. And he's gonna do horrible, horrendous damage to the country and the psyche of the country. Anyways, Mike Johnson has killed the proxy voting bill. He did some sort of like wheel and deal situation where he's getting people to agree to just pass a much smaller version of the bill where if a mother has severe medical complications during pregnancy and childbirth, then she can vote, like proxy vote, like if she's like basically hospitalized. Cool story, bro. Thanks. You've done literally nothing to address the problem of trying to travel to Washington, D.C. with a brand new baby that you're really not supposed to have a baby out of the house. And at the end of the day, these motherfuckers just don't want any women there, and they've made that very clear. Okay, usually it doesn't do that, so I don't know. I don't understand. It seems like there's a problem. I'll have to go fix it. I'm almost done. So Trump is having his annual physical on Friday, and he made some like insane, stupid statement saying this is the best he's ever felt, and this is just something that you have to do, yada yada. I mean, we're never gonna know what his actual status is health-wise ever. I wonder if he's going to see that same. It's at Walter Reed, but I know he had like the fake doctor, like the Seinfeld doctor. I don't know. Anyways, this is the last story tonight. It's not really a story. It's more just like billionaires and millionaires, well, mostly billionaires, but anyone that has any significant amount of money is starting to freak out about what Trump's doing, and they're starting to turn on him publicly. So Jamie Dimon, who, as you may know, is very much in that space, is coming out and saying these tariffs are going to do horrendous, irreversible damage to our economy, and that it is very ill-advised, essentially. So, again, you know, they're pissed and they're sick of this, and it's costing them money, and they want him to stop. It's their fault. So I'm curious to see. Maybe y'all can convince him, send him some visitors, do whatever it is you usually do. It's your fault, so it should be your problem to fix. Fix it. Fix it. Do whatever you do on the back end. Negotiate with someone. I don't know. I mean, the schadenfreude from knowing that millionaires and billionaires are losing a lot of money is not going to stop the suffering of the lower class and even the middle class. But anyways, I gotta go deal with this dryer before it explodes, apparently. I'm sorry. I hope you guys are all hanging in there. Again, brace yourself that more than likely the stock market is going to continue to get worse, okay? That way, if that doesn't happen, cheers, party like it's 1999. However, for the time being, keep your expectations. Just try not to have any, if possible. And if that's not possible, then expect the worst. And that way, again, you won't have that sensation of how could they do this, because this is who they are, you know? And I think a lot more people are starting to see that. Anyways, love you guys. See you tomorrow.